Alright people, this is the Phil Neville Show. I hope you're all doing very, very well. And today I will be doing a good few things. I'll be talking about a few topics that I've found quite interesting. I'd like fans to get in touch and give their opinions on if it's your club that I'll be talking about. Give your opinions. If there's any questions football related you want me to involve in the next show, please let me know. So we're going to be doing the Phil Neville Show today, obviously, and we're going to be doing the Phil Neville training session later on. Now, this is like a little FIFA 19 season I created. FIFA 20 is out, the demo is out. I haven't played it yet. Man United are not in it, and I don't think we deserve to be either. But, maybe next week I'll do a ratings video on which, on my reaction to the players that have got ratings on FIFA 20. It'll be really interesting to see. I haven't seen them yet, so I'll give my view on that another time. So, what we're going to talk about today? Well, what we are going to talk about is we've got some new managers come in the Championship in a game we're going to be watching this weekend. We're going to be talking about the first managerial sacking in the Premier League so far. We're going to be doing some Premier League predictions, and hopefully we'll try and do some more stuff as well this week. I haven't got any stats because it was the international break this week. Well, we all love the international break, don't we? And I've got some ideas for next week. I was going to pick the worst possible, the bad Premier League 11. Like people say stuff like compare players like Phil Jones and Shkodran Mustafi, Ashley Young, players that are often criticised. If there's any of you guys that can help me out, that can say like we've got a bad goalkeeper who's probably the worst in the league or something like that, please let me know. If your club has a really bad keeper that has really been made some comedy mistakes, so please let me know. Right, so let's start off with Watford, because they made the first managerial sacking of the season. It was Javi Gracia who left. I said he would be the first manager to be sacked, and they brought in Quique Sanchez-Flores, who was appointed Watford manager to replace Slavisa Jokanovic back in 2015 after the club decided they don't want to renew his contract. So I thought he did pretty well at Watford. He finished mid-table, kept them in the Premier League, but for the Watford ball that wasn't good enough and they sacked him. Never should have done. I thought he was a fantastic manager for Watford, and they brought in Walter Mazzarri. He did even worse. They finished 17th in that season, although they weren't really in any major relegation trouble. Then they brought in Marco Silva. The Everton job distracted him, and it gave him lots of emotional stress. So that is why he was sacked by Watford. Then they brought in Javi Gracia. Nobody knew who he was. Lost his first game in charge of Watford, and 1-0 loss against Southampton in the FA Cup. Last season, Watford were always one of those mid-table teams. They're a bit like Bournemouth. They've been in the Premier League for quite a while, and they've just finished mid-table. Although Bournemouth do play some exciting football, but they always finish mid-table, and it ends up in a very mediocre season for them. Not aiming high up in the table or staying down below. And they probably wish that they could do, but they're always one of those teams that finish like 13th, 14th, 15th, or something like that. So yeah, that's my view on it, and and I think Watford should stick with him. They've made a big mistake in my opinion for the first time, and with Javi Gracia, I expected it to happen because I know what kind of club Watford are. I don't know if it was the right decision, but I knew Watford would sack him sometime soon. And I think, to be honest, I don't know if it was. I'm in the middle. I'm kind of thinking, yeah, well, they have had a ridiculously bad start to the season. It did happen to Frank de Boer, although Watford have scored 2 goals under him and under Javi Gracia, and they have got a point. But football's a harsh game, and I've seen it before with De Boer at Palace, and I've seen it now. I know that it's completely two different complete situations, but playing against Arsenal this weekend, I don't think they would have won anyway, and I still don't. But we'll get into predictions in a moment's time. If I keep looking at the TV, there's a FIFA game going on. It's my own little season thing. It's Man City against Burnley. It's currently 1-1. I met me on transfers and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll put on the Xbox 360 in a moment. Hopefully this has got, it has got a cover on it. That's good, because that's the only way the batteries will go in. Right, so yeah, Quique Sanchez Flores, I think he will do a good job at Watford. I think he'll do fine. You know, he was the manager that really connected Dini and Ighalo in the Premier League, and they were firing all the time. It didn't work out the next season when they got rid of him. I think if they kept him, maybe that partnership would have kept on going. Dini, I don't know if he'll be playing in this game. Dini's had some history against Arsenal. Obviously made those comments back in 2017 after Watford beat Arsenal on BT Sport, and said Burnley have scored. Wow. They said after Arsenal lack balls. He said cojones, but Arsenal lack balls. Then since that game, a lot of things have happened. He missed a penalty in the next fixture they played them at the Emirates, winning Arsenal 3-0. Then the next season, he got sent off in a 1-0 loss against Arsenal a minute after Aubameyang scored, elbowing Torreira. And this time he's injured, so I don't know if he's back, but yeah, karma is really, really punishing Troy Deeney. And it's happened again as well when he said, I'm glad Jimenez wore a mask because he's a loser. I think that's the words he said. After Watford beat Wolves in the FA Cup semi-finals, and then in the FA Cup final, lost 6-0 to Man City. So, yeah, those sort of things have come back to bite Troy Deeney, you know, and karma has happened to all of us, you know, probably even me, because one time, like, I used to laugh and joke and say, like, it's guaranteed we're going to beat Huddersfield, and then we ended up drawing, so I made myself look like an idiot, so nothing's guaranteed. And this week, I think it's guaranteed we're going to lose against Leicester, you know, and I don't want us to lose, obviously. I'd rather win the game, but, you know, yeah, I've kind of given away in a prediction there, but whatever. So, what we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about two new managers that have come in. So I have got some very good Huddersfield Town supporting friends, and they're playing Sheffield Wednesday. I like both clubs. I like Sheffield Wednesday as well. They're a good team. Wednesday's my favourite day of the week. It is Wednesday after all, so yeah, I like Sheffield Wednesday. So they play each other on Sunday, and that's going to be a really interesting game because there's been two managers this week. Danny Cowley, the former Lincoln manager. Now, my friend on my Xbox has just asked me, from what I've heard, he's not doing a bad job, because he's, you know, probably because of Lincoln's position. But I know quite about him, not personally, but I know what he's done in the past couple of years. So obviously in 2017, he got Lincoln City to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Now, they were non-league at the time, the first non-league since 1914 to get to the FA Cup quarter-finals. On that route, I don't know who they beat in the first and second round, but I know that they beat Ipswich Town in the third round. They beat Brighton in the fourth round when they were in the Championship, and then they went to Burnley of the Premier League at Turf Moor and won 1-0. So, brilliant achievement, and they got Lincoln promoted to League Two. So he's done that. Then the 2017-18 season got them into the playoffs, but they lost to Exeter. And in 2019, he won the EFL Trophy with Lincoln and got them promoted to League One. And they're currently in the playoffs, and they thought, you know what, we need a new challenge. A club that's just been relegated from the Premier League, a club that is 23rd in the Championship, a team that have only won one game so far all year. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good challenge, and I think he will do well at Huddersfield Town personally. Based on what he's done at Lincoln, I think he can do that at Huddersfield. I think maybe next season he could get the team pushing for a place back in the Premier League. And Sheffield Wednesday, Garry Monk. Well, Garry Monk has had only one job in the Premier League, and that was when he got the permanent job at Swansea City, replacing Michael Laudrup. He did well for a couple of years, played some good football. Then he got sacked. He missed out on the playoffs with Leeds. He went to Birmingham. Some comments got him sacked, and now he's Sheffield Wednesday's manager. I wouldn't have actually picked Garry Monk to take over. I would have picked someone like Chris Hughton or someone like that who has got pedigree of getting clubs promoted. He's done it with Newcastle. He's done it with Brighton. So yeah, I think overall Garry Monk maybe is not the greatest choice. Maybe not my number one choice. I would pick if I was Sheffield Wednesday, but. He's taken over, and he will hope for the best. And in this game, there's a lot of competition actually, because the winners of this game will decide who Phil Neville will get to play on in my next episode. So it's either Huddersfield or Sheffield Wednesday. If it's a draw, we're gonna have to get someone to request and pick the next team, or I could use it in the bag. For a backup team, with the bag is over there, that blue bag over there. So we will, if we can't do a video, if there isn't a winner in the game on Sunday, then on the Monday, I will come and draw a team out for a replacement. And please, Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday, don't just shake hands and draw. Please don't. I'd really appreciate that, thank you. And I'd like to see some entertainment, because I know the Championship can be quite entertaining when it wants to be, and I think it will. Right, so yeah, Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday, that is this Sunday. Wonder if you Huddersfield fans are going to the game. Some of you guys who know me, yeah, good luck to you at the weekend. It should be a really good Yorkshire derby. We haven't really had a lot of things to talk about this week, really. There isn't any real news on Phil Neville, really. Not really. We know that the WSL is back, and they're really improving in terms of their... Because there was a game at Stamford Bridge last week between Chelsea and Spurs, and Chelsea won 1-0. Man United women's side lost 1-0 to Man City's women's side. And, yeah, it's... not good for Man United, but yeah, it's kind of good that we've seen lots of supporters going to the women's games as well, and they've been held at Premier League grounds too. So, like the Etihad and Stamford Bridge. So yeah, that's really really good. But yeah, no real update on Phil Neville this week. We haven't got any Phil news, although this show is called the Phil Neville Show Wednesday Weekly. So yeah, no Philip news so far. So we're lost on that part, but I'll always keep the name because he's a legend. Right. So what else are we going to talk about? Well, we forgot to do the team of the week. We'll leave that for today. We will do that next Wednesday when we talk about when we do the Phil Neville training sessions. So we'll just be doing that. FIFA 20. FIFA 20. I'm so excited for FIFA 20. FIFA 19 was probably my worst FIFA to play. I like the graphics. I like the stuff that they've done in it. I like simulating the games on kick-off mode. I don't really do career modes because I lose all my squads. So, because they'll do all the updated squads and they'll be like Lukaku and all the people who are at United, like Sanchez and... when we didn't have Harry Maguire, basically when we were crap. So, yeah, we still are a bit crap now, but... Oh, I've just seen a replay of the Chris Wood goal. Wow. That's neat. So, yeah, I'll talk about my FIFA thing that I'm doing. It's called, like, the FIFA 77 season. It could be 1977, it could be 2077. I don't know. But I've just called it FIFA 77 because I find it interesting. So, it's like a... it's a season. Man United's currently top of the league. Don't worry, I haven't been playing any of the games. Man United, I did a season of the 2016-17 season, but I changed it up a little bit. I used last season's teams. And I've got Norwich, Aston Villa and Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League as well. Not Sheffield United, sorry Sheffield United. I wanted to change it up a little bit. But, yeah, anyway, so I've had a few managerial changes in that as well. Sean Dyche is the England manager. Roy Hodgson has taken over at Burnley. He's doing a good job now. He's got his first win. We've got Gareth Southgate as the new Crystal Palace manager. Now, in that season, some of you might have known that I used to like type on what's happening in my friend Andre's streams, and Roy Hodgson resigned as Crystal Palace manager. Imaginary, not real. Don't worry, Palace fans. I like to think it's real. I like to make the things I do realistic. So, Roy Hodgson resigned as Crystal Palace manager. They were doing really, really bad. They lost 3-2 at home to Brighton, who hadn't scored a Premier League goal under the Chris Hughton era. And Chris Hughton was sacked. I actually remember typing that, and people didn't agree with what I put. And Slaven Bilic took over Brighton. I know it's Graham Potter now in real life, but I put Slaven Bilic as the manager. And Brighton are unbeaten in the Premier League on my season, drawing a lot of games more than winning, really. And, Roy Hodgson's at Burnley now, and he's just won his first game against Man City. Man City are quite average. They've still got the same kind of squad. Still got De Bruyne, Sterling, Aguero, Jesus. I put a few additions in. I put Dele Alli at Man City. And they're doing shit, really. They're doing quite shit. They've only won one game so far. So have Spurs. Spurs, they've got a decent squad. They've still got Pochettino. Huddersfield have still got David Wagner in mine. Not doing well at the moment. Man United beat them 4-0 and they're top of the league. They've got Martial's in banging form. I saw a lot of the players at Man United. We've got Inaki Williams, we've got Paulo Dybala, we've got Tielemans, we've got Lamina, we've got Alderweireld. We got rid of Ashley Young as well. So we've got rid of Fred, Sanchez, Mata, Lukaku, De Gea's gone as well, although because I think David De Gea will leave personally. We've got Oblak in the goal as well. So yeah, I've changed it up a bit. I've got my own squad. Solomon Rondon's at Burnley, but he's doing shite. He hasn't scored a goal yet. And yeah, I've making my own managerial changes. I like to do that sort of thing really, and I like to do those sort of things. I find them quite interesting. So. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of like odd numbers. I have a thing, right? So say like it's the 2020 season. I'm like, not really interested, and I've got this thing where I'm interested in odd number seasons, like the 16-17 season or the 2012-13 season, and if it's like the 2013-14 or I don't know, it's a bit weird, but I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, doing these videos, the Phil Neville show, talking about the Premier League and stuff like that, little stats, and that kind of interests me. That keeps me going in a way. So yeah, I'll try and forget about it. So what else could we be talking? Well, we're not going to be doing a video for 30 minutes really, because I don't really see any point. I mean, really that much to talk about. England did win 2 games. Bulgaria 4-0 at Wembley the other day. Harry Kane got a hat-trick, 2 penalties, and Sterling scored, and England won 5-3 last night. Harry Maguire, Jesus Christ, he had a bad game, made a mistake, and Kosovo scored the first goal. It was at St Mary's, Southampton Stadium, and we could see the first goal. And in like the first minute, Harry Maguire made a mistake and then he conceded a penalty. He had a dodgy game. Harry, please don't defend like that against Leicester. It really will cost you. I just hope we don't play out from the back, because I felt we did that well against Southampton. We didn't play out the back and play into Southampton's hands. So there we go. Okay then. I'm a bit lost now. Alright, let's do the last part of the video, the Premier League predictions. Right, so this is going to be quite quick. Well, no, this won't be the last part, actually. I'm an idiot. But yeah, let's go into the last part. So, my Premier League predictions for this weekend. Let's start off with the early kick-off on Saturday, BT Sport match. Liverpool against Newcastle. I think Liverpool's going to win this game 3-0. They're on course for their 14th victory in a row. Newcastle, under Steve Bruce, yeah, they did beat Tottenham, but Liverpool are far more quality than Tottenham do, and I think Liverpool are going to win this quite convincingly. I think it's going to be Liverpool 3, Newcastle 0. Brighton against Burnley. Burnley have a good record in the South Coast. They beat Brighton 3-1 at the Amex last season, back in February. That was the last meeting between the pair. Burnley did the double over Brighton, and Brighton, if they win this weekend, it will be their first ever Premier League win over Burnley. But I think this is going to end in a 1-1 draw on this occasion. Manchester United against Leicester. Manchester United, I really want us to win. My heart says 3-2 to United, but my head says 3-1 to Leicester. I really can't see any way we're going to win this game. But I do think we will get a goal from Dan James. I think Vardy will score. I think Harvey Barnes will score. And I think Tielemans will score for Leicester. I think it's going to be a really, really depressing day for me on Saturday, so I'm going to have to try and prepare myself for that. Sheffield United against Southampton. I think this is going to be a 2-0 Sheffield United win. I think both teams will play an attacking style of play, and I think Sheffield United will get the 3 points in this one. Next game is Tottenham against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are the last team to at the Etihad and Anfield, at the Emirates and Old Trafford, and I think Palace might go to Tottenham and win. I'm going to go for Tottenham 0, Crystal Palace 1. A crazy prediction, but I think Palace can go and cause Tottenham an upset, as Spurs did lose to Newcastle. Wolves against Chelsea. Sorry I'm going a bit fast, but I'm just trying to not make too much fuss about it. Wolves versus Chelsea. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Yeah, might sound a bit crazy, but I think Wolves, they're without Willy Boly. I think Chelsea will get a goal, and Wolves have been drawing a lot, and they haven't won a game yet this season so far, and I think Chelsea can go to Molineux and get something from the game, so I'm going to say 1-1. Norwich against Man City looks a blatantly easy game to predict. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Man City win. Norwich have been pretty vulnerable at the back, only one victory so far this season, and all the others have been defeats, losing to the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, and of course West Ham. And take on a really, really, really good Manchester City team. And I think City are going to win this 3-1 at Carrow Road. Bournemouth against Everton. I think this is going to be an absolute cracking match between the two sweet clubs, the Cherries and the Toffees. It's always an entertaining game. Everton have never won away at the Vitality Stadium in the Premier League. The only win that they have had was a 2016 FA Cup 5th round victory. And I think that Everton will win this time. I think it's going to be Bournemouth 2, Everton 3. The last Sunday game is Watford against Arsenal. I think this game will finish 3-0 to Arsenal. I think Quique Sanchez-Flores is not going to be celebrating a big party at Vicarage Road on Sunday. I think the Gunners are going to put 3 past them, and I think Pepe will get his first goal for the Gunners. And the final game, I actually forgot about this game in my predictions. I put in the comments below on the 4Bro show. Aston Villa 2, West Ham 1. I think Villa are going to pinch all 3 points in this one. Right then, let's skip Xbox pads, because it is the Phil Neville show. So we're going to have to rotate the camera in a moment's time. I might be able to actually fill this in for half an hour. So don't worry, this will be saved. I'm sure it will. It will go straight back to it. Well, I hope so anyway. Right, so let me know how your day's going, everybody. Wow, I've never spoken so fast in my life. And here we go. Right. I'll leave the Xbox One on, because we won't be doing it for very, very long. So yeah, guys, if there's any Bournemouth supporters, brilliant. Bournemouth supporters, thumbs up to you. It's a celebration. It's a party. Congratulations. Phil Neville's wearing a Cherry shirt for the very first time. Hey, someone liked my comment. Brilliant. On my 4-bro show prediction thingy. Majiggy. Oh, boys. I hope we win this weekend. Really, really do. I really hope we win against Leicester. I mean, it's nothing to do with Leicester. I just want to win again. I mean, I remember that when I did a video on the Man United against Chelsea, and I was so buzzing. Right then. Enough of my sexy face and my haircut. It's time for FIFA 13, the first ever Phil Neville training session on a Wednesday. Wow. How fantastic does that sound? Do you know what, guys? I'll open up to you about college. Last week, I didn't enjoy it. I weren't really getting along. People weren't talking to me very much. It was very, I don't know, it was very, very, very awkward. Where is Phil? There he is. There is the beautiful Wednesday human being. Well, you know, Phil Neville Day is every single Wednesday. That's what I always say. What a goal by Phil early on. Cracking hit there. And he hasn't got the long sleeves. I don't like long sleeves. That's not my type of thing. I like short sleeved, you know. I feel better having my arms out a bit. You know what I mean? Oh, Phil would absolutely smash it playing for Bournemouth. Oh yeah, that's the Derby keeper. Yeah, never mind. They're not actually playing Derby, it's just a training session. Wow. And do you know what? I think Phil actually suits a Bournemouth kit, you know. Very, very nice. The games I'm commentating on, by the way, guys, if you're interested, I'm doing Norwich Man City. And then I'm also doing the Huddersfield Sheffield Wednesday game. It's the first time I've done a championship match. I think the first time I did the last time I did a championship game was Luton Middlesbrough. When it was 3-3. Oh, that's not a great penalty. We're just giving it straight to me, and I banged it in. If Phil Neville was still playing, I wonder what rating it would be. Do you know what? Hopefully, if I ever become famous, I mean, I'm not saying I will, you know, but crazy things happen in life. But if I would actually try and request a Phil Neville FIFA card. They just try and make it for me. Doesn't it? It could be from FIFA 13. It could be from FIFA 11. It could be. I don't know. They could recreate him and make him famous because of me. In FIFA 77 in the future, I don't know, or whenever. It could be. It could be any FIFA. But I would try and request a Phil Neville card, and they have to make him 99 rated for everything. That would just be mad. I'm not expecting it. Don't worry. I'm not a big-headed, arrogant person. That's probably the least of my personality, really. But that would just be absolutely mad if that happened. It could play for any team, unless it's not Man City, Liverpool, and that's about it. It could be Sheffield Wednesday, it could be Huddersfield, it could be Chelsea, it could be Man United, as they are the team I support, although they are banned from this training session thing because he has played for both Everton and Man United. And obviously City and Liverpool are the rivals, and I just don't think it'd be right. But yeah, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal, they're fine. They can be involved in this training session. Let's do another penalty. Great penalty. Whoopsies. That's a blooper. Alright, once we reach 30 minutes, we'll end it there. Beautiful. I can't believe it slipped over. I really am not bothered. Don't bother me at all. It's just a blooper. Bit of fun. I'm sure a lot of people in their YouTubing careers, like YouTubers like Vizzer or Poly KSI, have had like bloopers before. things like that happen if they've got an iPad or something like that, or anything like that. Blast. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. That is the Philip Neville Show Wednesday Weekly. That is probably the only Philip Neville news that is training for Bournemouth this week. And hopefully Sunday is a cracking game. Hopefully we find out who is the winner of the Phil Neville training session decider in the Yorkshire derby between Huddersfield Town and Sheffield Wednesday. Leave your predictions for that game and leave your predictions for the Manchester United against Leicester game. We will be back next week and we will have that winner. I will see you soon. Hopefully you all have a brilliant day. Goodbye.